increasing the area of modernization and globalization has made us forget to pursue technological progress and build cities that do not have a significant impact on the country. There may be some individuals who see the progress is when we have magnificent cities and living communities surrounded by high-tech gadgets. On the other hand, balance in the various industry will make our country develop and be highly regarded by other countries. For example, Japan and South Korea. Every industry such as technology, agriculture, industry, and tourism is developed together. Therefore, the country leaderships need to be changed, the country policies and policies so that it does not have remain stuck for a long time. One of the sector with the great potential in increasing the progress and economy of the country is the agriculture sector. A sector that was previously overlooked and given less attention actually has a important that provides benefit, but not only the country, but also the local community and the environment.
Develop abundant land to produce enough food for food security and sustainable agriculture. Malaysia has a lot of private lands for such for mining area, swampland, which are abundant. This land is cultivated for agriculture that can be a food supply and generate the national income. However, there are many wasteland areas outside the city that have been left behind by the rapid development. The potential of rural land in development should be given focused attention by drawing up a strategic development plan to ensure the development of agriculture for food security and sustainable agriculture. Statistics from the Federal Agriculture Marketing Board, FAMA, show that in 2017, the total import of fruit and vegetable was approximately 8.9 billion, while in 2018 it was 8.5 billion. China in the first ranks, followed by Africa and third United States. National food security is important to ensure the country food production is sufficient for the people and it's become one of the country state.
I call this encourage who have started the farming, whether a cow or sheep, they not enough money to grow up. We will finance that.
While the ministry offers a 20,000 ringgit grant, that's about $4,500 for young agripreneurs, that isn't enough. Now, he's urging banks to ease lending to promote agro-food industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you realize that agriculture actually represents the single largest use of the Earth's resources as a major driving force in the world's economy? Agricultural sector is one of the most important sectors in all countries across the globe. Thus, agriculture plays a significant link between food security and also poverty reduction. According to Organizations for Economic Cooperation Development, OECD, agricultural process is a potent force in reducing poverty in developing countries. A study by OECD finds that rapid and sustainable progress to reduce extreme poverty is next to impossible except where agricultural productivity increase and income increase for poor farmers. World Bank Group had conducted a program called as Sowing the Seeds under Malaysia Economic Monitor Program. The better understanding and illustrations of Sowing the Seeds program can be seen on the following video.
Farmers are the ones that actually are the ones that go and make a big difference to change communities, to change lives, to change nations.
Dulu habis sekolah saya terus kerja sama ayah, terus ikut ayah. Ayah pun petani juga. Atuk pun petani juga.
Go down to the field and experience yourself so that we can actually formulate good policy.
This program and project is carried out due to the fact that Malaysia's agricultural sector has been a key enabler of the country's economic transformation over the past 50 years. The sector has played a critical role in Malaysia's development by supplying food to an urbanizing population, releasing labor to the non-primary sector, providing input use in agro-processing and other forms of manufacturing, generating investable capital and earning foreign exchange. And today, the agricultural sector is the smallest economic sector behind services and industry, accounting for approximately 11% of employment and 7% of GDP. Thus, it is very important for the country and the government to take a serious action in raising the sector. It encompasses crop and livestock production, as well as aquaculture, fisheries, and forestry for food and non-food products. Agriculture is the key development in the rise of sedentary human civilization, whereby farming of domesticated species created food surpluses that enable people to live in cities.
Secondly, the advantage in the agriculture development is the increased food production capability to meet a local market demand. Malaysia has a lot of fertile land lying around and play a very important role in our life if it's managed properly. The increased food production, affordability, and nutrition security lead to food security, eventually increasing the quality of the human capital. The main target to overcome inability to meet the country domestic need because it's closely related to the problem, the cost of living of the people. Food crisis around the world show that it's a time for us to give serious attention.
While doing away with approved permits to import food will see consumers benefiting from lower prices and increased choices, more concrete measures are needed to reduce the country's dependence on food imports, says an economist. University Tun Abdul Razak's Barjoya Bardai said the removal of the long-standing policy, which was announced by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob yesterday, was aimed at countering the rising cost of food items and ensuring sufficient food supply.
For example, the Malacca state government will give permission to farmers to interest to carry out agriculture activity on abundant land owned by the government, especially for the cash crop. Through change and transformation of the production method to more modern ones using the latest technology on the large scale, the government must formulate a more comprehensive agriculture policy to empower the nation's food production sector. The policy should be also short, long-term, medium-term, and short-term strategy. In line, through the effort, the country can be reduced in dependence on the food import were around 15 billion in a year. In addition, the step that will be taken can develop a complete smart agriculture framework, accurate, and the adoption of the modern technology. Empower local community in addition to develop an environmental friendly agriculture project. The effort to restore abundant land to meet the local market is not only government responsibility. In fact, all parties need to work together to ensure abundant land can be developed as well as possible. In order to increase food production, waste land belonging to the FEDA, FECRA, and RISDA as well as the agency under the Ministry of the Agriculture and the Food Industry MAFI will be used for food crop for optimal land use. It also can future ensure the survival of the agro-food sector at every level of the food chain so that every citizen obtain the adequate and the nutrient food supply. Meanwhile, farmer can help connect landowner with the investor, cooperative and commercial farmer through land, leasing system and strategic partnership can be benefit both parties. For example, in order to overcome the problem of small farmer, the plan program need to be implemented more widely. That to define more clearly the crop and the type that can be calculative so that can be marketed in fresh and processed form. Meanwhile, the method to ensure food sustainability include implementation, eco-friendly farm practice, natural resource management, zero food waste, community-based farming, and community-based resources management.
The first point of disadvantage of agriculture development is uneconomic location and the lack of knowledge. The agriculture system in Malaysia usually prioritizes location factor. This is because it cannot be implemented in a strategic and appropriate geographical area without considering the local need and condition that will affect the level of crop agriculture, such as terrain, climate, soil property, and the groundwater. Among the problems faced by the agriculture sector are the economic location, such as size of farm for agriculture and animal husbandry that are not strategic, small scale, and uneconomical to work on. Inappropriate location have problem with the ability of limited resource such as water, suitable land, and require more comprehensive study to improve the agriculture system by finding cost-effective method to overcome this problem. Economic land size will also cause productivity and high production costs will be taken to overcome this problem. For example, the plantation sector alone control 83% of 6.36 million hectares of cultivated land. In addition, the economic location, there are several other factors that influence the low productivity and high average costs in the smallholder subsector. Lack of knowledge, education, and productive and efficient workforce will cause a good planning and efficient management to be impossible. Also, farmers with less education and knowledge will face the problem of lack capital because they find it difficult to obtain credit from financial institutions. To get credit, they had to meet the complex conditions and requirements set by the institution concerned. For another disadvantage of agriculture development is the lack of interest of younger generation that has caused labor problem. The agriculture sector is known to have contributed to the foundation of Malaysia economic foundation. In the post-independent era where majority of the people at the time were focused on economic activity based on agriculture and mining. However, with the rapid development and progress of country, the agriculture sector has gradually been looked down upon the younger generation, even though its role is still very relevant. The traditional farmers are also reported to be less and less interested in doing agriculture work. Younger generation are more interested in migrating to the big city in searching of jobs that they claim to be more dignified and have offer income which is higher and more granted, especially in industrial and service sector. This is because the image of employment in the industrial sector by the younger was seen higher and has better place in social facility. For the youngest, the income in the agriculture sector is aggregate still unstable and require a lot of energy and time. In fact, in this labor problem is reported to be increased year after year. This is caused many foreign workers to be brought in and affect the economy of the local population.
Jangan memilih kerja. Okey, satu jangan memilih kerja. Tak kisahlah kerja tu kerja tengah panas ke apa pun, kita kena yakin kita boleh buat. InsyaAllah kalau kita yakin benda tu memang boleh.
Recommendation on attract young people to agriculture-based business. The graduate should use action to work on uncultivated land to become agricultural company owners. The government provide financial and commercial incentive to growers so they can sell their crops. E-commerce platform like eDagang can help agricultural firms increase their market reach, so they don't need to rely on traditional methods. Graduates are also urged to work on their parent or other family members' underutilized property. When this kind of business is done, city dwellers may be persuaded to return to the village to serve, improving the local socio-economic condition. Using cutting-edge technology from the fourth industrial revolution, IR 4.0, unused land can be cultivated. They can earn between 20,000 ringgit and 30,000 ringgit each month by repurposing underutilized land as agricultural field in Malaysia, which may inspire other parties to enter the agricultural sector as a commercial activity. The nation can reduce its RM 50 billion annual food imports by focusing on it. Many jackfruit, sweet maize, and sugarcane could be sold in Singapore if more young people work in agriculture. High returns are expected from the investment. Due to favorable climatic and soil conditions, we wish to encourage young people to cultivate maize. This will allow us to export grain to worldwide market in higher numbers, and with farmer marketing help, company owners will see a healthy return on their investment. Like e-commerce, the graduates can earn hundreds of ringgit by repurposing underutilized land as agricultural field in Malaysia, which may inspire other parties to enter the agricultural sector.
40% dan B 20%.
We like Alibaba Cloud because they have a data center here to avoid any latency issue. They offer data clustering to reduce the downtime.
Encouraging owners of abandoned land to give permission for land to be cultivated in agriculture. For example, with a minimum area of 0.4 hectares or more, either contiguous or scattered, which is owned land that has not been cultivated for 3 consecutive years. Determining abandoned land lots carried out by the Department of Agriculture follows special method based on matching land use data with cadastrals may identify. The area also needs to be identified first in terms of potential to ensure it's successful. There are several types of abandoned land that are privately owned or government land that are identified as abandoned. Efforts to find and identify need to be done to get the consent of the landowner with the help of Department of Agriculture and the government. The government has also issued several initiatives to help any new entrepreneurs who want to start agricultural projects, whether financial assistance or advisory services, to provide guidance in ensuring the entrepreneurs are guaranteed and can always monitor the performance of the project. The government has also established as Wasteland Development Agriculture Grant Project aimed at developing wasteland so that it become productive lands. There are many grants given by the government to meet the needs of the agriculture. The people must always be committed and aware of the opportunities given by the government. For example, mentioned above, that help to start agriculture, help for industrial development, and so on, are very productive measures to ensure the sustainability of the agriculture sector can be continued from time to time. The farmers should act from now on to seize the opportunities available so that the results can be shared together in the future.
Sebanyak 1,915 lot tanah terbiar dengan keluasan 2,332.30 hektar di negeri ini perlu dibangunkan dengan industri pertanian bagi meningkatkan keluaran dalam negara kasar KDNK Melaka. Esko Pertanian Negeri Datuk Abdul Razak Abdul Rahman berkata, pelbagai inisiatif dirangka bagi mengusahakan tanah terbiar yang dikenal pasti itu. Namun ia bagaimanapun perlu persetujuan daripada pemilik tanah terlebih dahulu.
Harus mendapat persetujuan pemiliknya. Dan di Jabatan Pertanian Yang Berhormat Datuk Vice Speaker, kita menjadi pemudah cara di antara pengusaha dan juga syarikat-syarikat yang berminat dengan tanah-tanah terbiar ini.
Conclusion. The various interests of the agriculture sector contribute to the country and the nation. Society should remove the old stigma that farming is only for the villagers and cannot be a stable career. We just need an efficient and proactive administration that is able to gather manpower and expert to form a superior domestic agriculture ecosystem. Technocrat and professional should be a drive of every industry in the country. These professional and technocrat are more qualified. They have a deep experience and knowledge. In fact, they have dedicated their life to the field that they are engaged in. Where there is a will, there must be a way. Hopefully, every group will open their eyes and realize the potential of the agriculture sector in the country and take it seriously in safeguarding the interest of the sector for the common good.
By looking back at the early independent time of Malaysia, in the 1970s and 1980s, a large number of rural poor in Malaysia were able to escape poverty by taking part in government settlements program, which offered participants farmland as a long-term loans repayable with farm harvest over a 20 to 25 years of period. The rise and the issues on rural poverty can be contained and controlled with the developments of agricultural land in the rural area. The undeveloped land will be fully utilized for profitable activities.